names before you begin your presentation.
Hello, my name is Rebecca.
My name is Dominique.
My name is Ezeikel.
As a group, we went through your themed weekends, and one in particular that caught our attention was the London Literature Festival. We noticed it wasn't really popular with our generation, and we wanted them to be more interested in this subject and hopefully get more young people involved and bring them back year after year.
Our event is going to be based on all types of poetry, varying from comedy, romance, tragedy and drama, but mainly around a teenage life. As we will be focusing on attracting young people, we will be asking the young public to star in our own short poem film, which will involve them reading either lines, words or verses from a selected poem, and then each clip will be made into a final montage, which will be shown in the public space around the South Bank Centre.
As we said before, we decided to target young people as our audience, and by young people we mean from the ages of 13 to 18, because we want to make generations more aware of poetry. Poems don't appeal to young people as much as they should, and we are hoping to change their views on that. Get them more involved, and hopefully inspire them to write their own poems.
And we will also be conducting some audience research, and to do this we will distribute a survey to 13 to 18-year-olds.
We have been discussing what we think will be the best place for our short film to be shown. We thought about showing it in various places. We then came to the conclusion that it would be best to just project it on one of these three spaces. Because we noticed that it would be in a public space, so anyone who wants to can watch it.
Do you think that would be possible?
And if not, do you have any suggestions?
Just finish up everything and then we can take Q&A.
As we will only be using the general public and media, we doubt our event will be very expensive, and as not many resources we need. The only reason we might need to cut into the budget is to advertise our event.
We was wondering if it was possible to have a movie maker to help us film and edit our clip, as we have just started to learn, and we think we need a professional eye to make it look good as possible. We also think we should have a poet, well known or unknown, to write a special poem for the London Literature Festival, and if done, we will also use that poem in our short film.
Thank you for taking your time to listen to us. I hope our ideas appeal to you and we got our opinion across. Are there any questions?
Okay. Shall we first take some comments, some things that we thought were good about your presentation?
I think you all spoke very well and you were very confident about your ideas, which was really nice. And I really liked the way that you looked at the Literature Festival marketing from last year and used that design in your PowerPoint presentation.
And it was a very, very clear presentation. I sit in this room a lot and look at a lot of presentations, and a lot of them aren't that clear. So it was really brilliantly clear. You just didn't say any more or any less than you needed to, I felt.
Just good to see that you'd kind of considered the different spaces around the building and things like that.
Obviously taking everything that I said, but yeah, confident, clear, great.
Clarity. You covered all the areas that, questions like your thoughts on budget. I would, the three places as well. It was good to have the options on that. So you've shown your research into the whole idea and given the reason why. So you have covered everything.
And it's a great idea. It's a really good idea.
I've got a question.
Let's go for questions, yeah?
My question was, do you like poetry?
That was one of mine.
Yeah, I do.
Are there any poets that you particularly like, or any poems that you think of that you like?
I like unknown, I don't really, you find them online and they kind of appeal to me because they're
I just like poetry in general. I think it's creative.
It's going to sound really childish, but I like the poems which are in shapes of what it's about. But yeah.
Have you had any poets work within your school then?
No, not really.
And for your poetry film, I think you probably said this, I didn't quite catch it. Are you thinking about using a poem that already exists, or are you going to write a new poem?
We're not sure. It could be either the two. If we find a poet that is willing to write a poem, especially for the festival, then we can use that. But if we don't, then we found 2 poems in the poetry library this morning, and it was about the South Bank. So we might use those, or something more about the teenage life.
Or maybe you could work with a poet.
I was just about to
Yeah.
say exactly that. How would you feel about working with a poet to write your own? Because one of my questions was saying that you wanted to work with a poet, but your focus is on young people, on teenagers, and so it would seem funny to me to have a poem that was written by an adult. So it seems finding the way of you writing poetry, but maybe with support from someone who's published poetry, might be the way of looking at it.
Were you thinking of, obviously you've got the whole festival dates, but were you thinking of one date within that, or having young people come on a specific day, or over the whole period that you'd be working? You might not have thought about that, but...
I thought about maybe it could be shown over both of the periods of time.
So the work would actually be done before the festival,
Yeah.
so the
Yeah.
collation of all of it, and then the film home is presented during the festival.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still haven't quite. Is it an event, or is it there all the time throughout the festival?
It'll be on the same day as the literature festival.
Okay.
Right,
So
okay.
throughout that period of the
Yeah.
actual
Yeah.
literature
So
festival.
Yeah.
it could be on a loop, you mean,
Yeah.
so people
Yeah.
come and see it,
Yeah.
and then the person that comes an hour later, they get to see it as well.
Yeah.
And what would it look like? Would it be young people reading the poem, or would it be some sort of
Yeah.
animation? Or
Yeah.
We had the idea of like young people saying a line, but different young people saying each line.
Okay, so lots of different people.
Yeah.
And then maybe have animations which go with what they're saying around them or something.
And obviously you talked about your target audience being young people coming to see it. Who are the young people you imagine, one, coming to see it, and 2, making it? Like, where are they from? Do you know them, or are they unknown young people?
Just anyone, like any young kids, normal, like us, or just anyone. Like, we don't want it to be like anyone like special, just like your average Joe kind of thing. Like no one that recognisable as well. We don't want anyone recognisable. Because the movies, we watched the movies from the Festival of Britain from 60 years ago, and it was just normal people. So we hope that our film can go in the media tech room and people can watch it from like in the future and say, oh, these are just average people who came to the festival.
So maybe something for you to think about after today is, there's different ways that you can reach everyday people. Is it something that you do a kind of online campaign where you ask people to sign up to be part of your poetry project? Or maybe you have a camera outside somewhere and you sort of, you literally go up to people that you think look the right age and say, would you like to be in our film
That's
today?
what we're going to do.
Yeah, or maybe you think, right, I want one person from every borough in London, and you think about how to do that. So maybe have a little think about different ways that you could capture lots of young people your age.
And I just want to say, you have loads of really good ideas. There could be sort of several sort of little vignettes or short films that you put together. So in the class you've got 10 people, so you could split up into groups, and each group sort of take an element and put the films together as a whole. Is another idea that you could work with. Do any students have any questions? Comments?
I think it was well organised and well,
Presented?
Yeah. Well presented.
Okay.
It was really good. And I think the idea is good and clear, like they said, and you know exactly where they want to go. You can see exactly where they want their ideas to go and how they want it to be done.
Okay. Good.
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Just about challenges, perception of poetry for young people. You're saying they're not coming to the festival already. How do you, apart from this project idea, because obviously you've still got to advertise this as an idea, how, from a marketing point of view, how are you, what are you intending to use? You said that you sort of teenage life and the different genres. I guess it's just a question about thinking about the challenges.
Maybe that's a question.
It's a
that you
question
need
to
answer.
take
You don't
away.
have to answer it right now.
Yeah, so one to take away. The
Write that
challenges
down
of marketing to young people, poetry, which you've already said that you like, but you want to reach more people, so what are the challenges for doing that?
And just one more comment is, at the moment there are probably lots of things that you can't imagine how we're going to do, or you don't quite know how you would do it, but that idea is completely possible from our point
Oh,
of
it
view.
is. It's a very, very doable idea. It's a very practical idea.
Yeah. So you might think at the moment you don't quite know how, but that's possible. All right then.
Thank you.
Well done.
Good job.
I think I'm glad you brought the overture badges as well.